ahead and start our public session. If everybody could please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you can lead the communication, please.
I'll give her a whirl. Let's bow our heads, please. Our Heavenly Father, again, we come before you in reverence and solidarity, Lord, and we ask that you'll be over this meeting tonight. And Lord, we ask that you'll bless these elected officials as they make decisions on the town. And we ask that those decisions that are made are in the best interest of not only the town, but in your eyes. And Lord, we ask that you'll give everybody reverence, understanding, and we also recently learned that we lost a pastor here in town. Lord, we ask that you'll be with the individuals and Mr. Harrison's family, that you'll give them comfort and guidance, and Lord, we ask all this in your name and pray. Amen.
Please be seated. So, looks like our wrestlers didn't show up.
We had one show up.
Apparently they want to be put on the agenda for another day.
Okay.
Unless I'm playing, I had some other events to do. What Mr. Silver said.
Okay.
Easy enough. So, Chief, you're up next to give us a discussion on the parking tickets.
It was probably about 2.5 weeks ago. I think I had come to Todd because Missy, who does my code enforcement, had trouble with people parking on Main Street for more than 2 hours at a time. She was getting people having multiple times, repeat offenders day after day. Since March the 11th, until yesterday, she had written 116 violations.
Wow.
People they just weren't respecting the fact that, you got 2 hours to park, you get a ticket. Our ticket clearly states you're supposed to pay it within 24 hours. People weren't paying it. I think at the time I checked, it's clearly marked on 24 hours. I think at the time I had checked, and I think I had spoken to Todd about maybe doing something with it. 15 people had paid, and she wrote 77 tickets. It's just ridiculous. I mean, we have business on Main Street that lose business because people abuse us. And we have people that's worked in the courthouse or been to the courthouse that would sit there all day long and just get 3 tickets. And $30 is nothing even if they did come and pay it. We had people that just weren't paying it. So I had done some research on the other localities on what they were doing. Most localities, the fact that their parking tickets are so low, or they don't cost as much, they usually don't enforce it by going and getting a summons. Ours does say that we would get a summons, but it's never been enforced. So what I had checked with Todd is about maybe upping the price of the ticket so we maybe can deter some of the violations that we have. And I have gotten some samples of some tickets, and I'll let y'all pass these around. And the amount is to be set by y'all, what you think that the first offense should be. I made a suggestion, maybe $20 or $25. And then if you're up there for the second time when she comes back around, increase that fee. So I think we talked about 25 for the first one. If you're up there again, it's going to be $50. And we give them 10 days to pay it. And if they don't pay it in 10 days, should go to the magistrate, get a summons, where it's actually a warrant, for them to be served to come to court.
The problem that really threw a flag up is you literally have individuals, and out of respect, we won't mention names, that will park there and say, I'm okay with paying $10. But at the same time, that business that they're parked in front of is struggling to make it. So, and you would be totally shocked if you knew who it was. I mean, if they don't, even if they were paying it, The chief mentioned that the collection rate is extremely low. Even if they were paying it, there's still an issue because they're parking there. It's not a money thing for the record. There was comments made by an individual that we need the money. No, we don't do that because we need the money. We're doing it because the businesses deserve the money. We're not doing it because we don't have anything else to do.
Is there a way if people don't pay that can be connected to the DMV?
No. Even now, if you get a traffic citation in General District Court and you don't pay the fine, nothing happens.
Nothing.
The governor took that away where it used to be if you failed to pay a fine, you had the penalties to come with it. And like Todd said, we don't send her up there to write tickets. We're up there to make sure people know that if they stay longer than 2 hours, they could possibly get a ticket. So it's just to help the businesses to move the people along. I know Todd had an incident where he had went to Corey's barbershop a couple of times and there was a white truck parked up there. He thought, well, somebody in there getting a haircut. Come back 3 or 4 hours later and it's still there. Well, he's gonna get a ticket, but he's parking there long and it turns business ways because Todd was gonna get a haircut. So he don't have no place to park because it's taken up by space there.
Come find out the guy with carpool.
Carpool.
Bluefield and Richlands have the.
Bluefield or Richlands doesn't enforce that, and they don't really have that kind of enforcement. If somebody calls and complains, they usually go down and tell the person they need to move it or they can find it. We're really unique in being that we have a limited space that we enforce this in, and we have limited spaces actually. I've talked to places all over the state of Virginia. They have a common problem, but most of theirs are in different areas. It's not restricted to one area like ours. So,
What we'd like to do is let Brad come back next month with a code change in writing. It's something y'all can look at and actually vote on, and it's probably gonna take how long to implement, Brad?
But once they approve it, it's just a matter of going through and
Public hearing required or anything?
I always recommend whenever you change an ordinance like this to have a public hearing.
We'll bring
It's still
it back.
required to, but you can, if you're looking at it in 60 days, and advertise it, have it adopted, if you adopt it as an emergency, it'll take effect within 60 days.
Since we started like on April 3rd, we started putting a notice in people's packet when they get a ticket, put it in there saying, starting on April 3rd, if you don't pay this, that we will seek a judge for a warrant against you. And it has prompted people to start paying more. Like I said, we had 15 on like the 28th of March. We now have 78 people out of 116 paid. So I mean, it did increase, but still to the fact that there's people who's not paying attention to it. So I think if you get a $25 ticket, you're gonna think about it the next time. Maybe you'll be more respectful to people who have businesses.
I think 20 and 10 days.
I mean, that's totally up to y'all what it is.
We'll bring you a recommendation back. I don't have anything.
I think one of the tickets was $20.
Well, I know when I lived in Richmond, I would be running late to work and would park in front of the building and forget. That was what I would have to pay.
Well, I tell
And
you,
I had 10 days to do
we
it.
had an incident here about a week and a half ago. They had a murder. I had a trial on the courthouse. These people parked up there for hours. They got tickets, but, we had people coming out. They're in there testifying. I'm sorry, there's places to park other than on Main Street.
There's designated areas.
There's plenty of
Behind
places
the
to park.
Yeah.
But
So,
until I went and actually talked to some people who were repeat offenders, these things weren't getting paid.
Right.
I'd just like to see Todd get a haircut.
I couldn't get a haircut.
I could, because it's important.
Why don't you just walk down there?
Actually, I did after that. Thank you.
But like I say, I appreciate any help you can get us on trying to rectify.
And thanks for collecting that stuff on records.
So if I understand correctly, you're voting basically a revision of what it is, it's Division 2 Code section 16 in your town code, which is basically, it's a 2-hour parking restriction is where this is found, and so you're basically wanting me to go through and.
Yeah, we'll get together and give you some information.
Okay.
Yeah, me and Brad met the other
We've
day.
already
We
talked about
talked about what we, like to see in it, and extend the time to like 10 days instead of 24 hours.
So if you've already talked about it and you already know what you'd like to see, tell them and they can vote on it tonight. That way you can go ahead and draft it up. So what is it you want to say?
Well, I'd like to include it on the ticket, and they'll print anything I want on the ticket. On our ticket now, it says you have 24 hours. I would like to put on there, you have 10 days from the issue date to pay the fine. If not, then we will seek a summons on it.
And the fee
What
you
about
want
the
to
fines?
change? The
And
fine.
the fines, that's totally up to y'all. I mean, I was thinking 25 and 50, but if y'all want it, whatever. y'all
I'm
want.
good with 25 and 50. I mean, if you were paying 25 years ago, that's inflation.
Well, I can tell you what
True. But the thing is, it's really easy for somebody to get 20. Like if there's somebody.
Yeah, we don't want to make it
in
easy,
the courthouse
we
that
want to make it
comes out,
hard.
They can go to an ATM and it spits out a 20 and then we don't have to worry about change.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a reason not to do it.
I agree
I would
with
look
you.
into
I've had several lawyers that'll come up on Main Street and park for all day long, and they'll come down and gladly pay you $30 to park up there, instead of walking from up in the court. They do it all the
We're
time.
suggesting 50 for the second time, what about third, fourth, and fifth?
Well, the problem of that is when she's up there doing these, she has no way of knowing if you've had past
He's
tickets
talking about the same day.
on the same day.
I'm
Like,
just talking about in general, I mean,
25,
repeat
50,
offenders.
75.
Like the white truck idea, that would have, she would have been able to mark
she
it
would
higher.
have, the most she ever issues is 3
Okay.
in a day. Because she's up there at 9, she's up there at 11.
So that's
and she's up there-
$120 if you get.
125.
125.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you in Richmond, you had 10 days to pay it. If it was not paid in that 10 days, your fees went up.
There you go, Brad.
Well, I think laws ought to be respected, and although ordinances or local laws are still laws,
They are.
and there ought to be respect for this town and its ordinances, its laws, that
So-
they be respected.
Instead of convoluting it, let's just come back in May with a solid, educated recommendation to give council for them to consider, because we can be here all.
Yeah, like I say, I'll have to get new tickets printed because of the fact that the ones we have don't have any of that on there, so.
Thank you, Chief.
If I might, Sean, just one inquiry for me. The way the existing code, and it is a little bit convoluted, it got modified back in 95, and there were some other provisions of the old 90 code and the 73 code that were left in there. That's why it's even muddier than it needs to be. It needs to be completely retooled. But one of the things that was left in was you had the ticket writing and then the summons to court. Is that something you like the idea of in terms of if they don't pay within a certain amount of time, they will get summons?
I like that.
I mean, that's what you've got in there now. It's not written very well. It needs to be changed. That's where if you violated 3 times, you end up with 125 in one day, you still don't pay it. Is it something where you would like to have the option of the police department then to take a warrant for them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, that's, all right. It gives me an idea when I talk of what we can do.
Yeah.
That's enough. I just wanted to have some idea. of direction.
boots in the budget.
Okay.
Parking tickets.
A lot of people-
One of my officers did mention boots, but I didn't. I didn't go there. He's all for boots, but I didn't go there.
How expensive would a boot be?
I didn't go there. I mean, I will go on. Depends on you.
That doesn't fix the problem, it keeps it
And
more.
the state code does allow for that as well. So
It does or doesn't?
it does not, does.
Now, I can tell you, if anybody can find them all, he can find them somewhere, they're probably free, so they're
The problem
probably.
is if you put a boot on it, it doesn't help the problem of parking on Main Street.
Yeah.
No, they just
If
stayed.
they gotta wait a day to get their car, they might not do anything.
Well, they'll have to call us to come and get paid a fine, get the boot on, I guess.
They might have a TV show.
Or so. Well, I guess he'd be a good one on there, I tell you.
They're about $240 each.
$240 for a boot. I wonder if you could keep track and you see that somebody's up there repeatedly, If there were repeat offender and don't pay,
I actually looked at some handheld devices, and that in the software is rarely expensive.
right?
You're looking at about $9,500 just the first year, and about 35 after that. So we have
It's
a lot of
right there.
savings for that.
Yeah, well,
They should be aware of it. I don't
Cost
think that
effective is not there. The way we're doing
I
it,
thought to take a fire.
I just want to deter it. I don't really
Money in
want
that fire pit.
per se make money on it.
Right.
I want to make sure we keep the businesses open.
Is this gonna lead on to,
Okay, any more questions?
Make sure you know what hand you
parking ticket policies? That's, what's this
That's
on the
what we
second?
just talked about.
You got on 2 pages here.
That will pass on, Jay.
We won't
We'll
vote.
pass on
Yeah,
item
they're gonna
9D.
pass on the.
We'll pass on.
Okay, we good?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so, Ben's gonna give us an update on the aqua park and pool changes of operating hours.
So before my time, I'm not sure how many years back, the Lincoln Shire used to have swim lessons from 10 to 12. Before the pool actually opened, then from 12 on, it was open for the public. Since it was taken, I guess, by the Y, we just left it to the operation hours are from starting at 10 a.m. through the day, finishing at 5:20, which accommodated for the swim team to set up a practice or whatever they had after. I was making some changes based on budget, and just basically, this will be my 5th summer watching the pool operate, and Monday through Friday, rarely we get people, we maybe get 10 people total on a good day, from 10 o'clock to 12. Just a couple that just go out there, they sunbathe, they don't really go out. One of the protocols for lifeguards is there has to be a lifeguard per station, so per part of the pool supervising, and since the kids swimming all over, there has to be 3 present. They can't just have watch them, follow them everywhere. So from 10 to 12, there would be 3 guards on stand with the extras waiting to rotate with maybe 2 kids in the pool at a time. So I was changing them just to kind of help with the budget and also kind of offset a little bit to change from Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. to 5:20 p.m. So it close the same time, but just start at 12. And then Saturday would stay the same. So we'll keep it just as early, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. And that'd also be for the aqua park. The original hour for the aqua park had them closing at 7, so an hour later than the pool. The problem that brought up was where they get the aqua park and the pool together. A lot of people would leave their stuff at the pool at 6 and be at the aqua park, so when they came back down, that was closed, or there was a party happening. So the party would come in with a bunch of patrons and their stuff still in corners. And it was hard to kind of circulate them going in and out after the aqua park. So that was just more to make sure they're at the same time. And also sometimes it gets a little darker with clouds and it's a little harder visibility at the aqua park around that time anyway. And then concession right now is in the process of being bid out, being tomorrow with them. But General's going to change that as well. Most people stop buying around the last hour of the pool. So it's going to change that to close just a little bit early, like a half hour earlier. It also give time for them to clean up and not have to be there too late, just clean. But in doing this, it'll also shave hours off of the time for lifeguards and all the staff that has to be there. But it also opens up some opportunities for more night swims. The night swims are just 2 hours long at night. Every time we've had them, we probably make more than just those 2 hours of night swim than we do the whole day of the pool. They love it. The water's hot. They love it. The issue we always have is weather. Heat lightning looks too much like lightning, and it's very complicated for the lifeguards, and then they question it, and of course they get badgered when they think it's lightning, and it's actually just heat lightning. Which I looked up, heat lightning is not you don't have to take them out for heat lightning. But it just causes that conflict because if they hear something, it's just tough. But generally, those 2 hours of night swim make more than the full day of the pool. So instead of starting at 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock in the morning, just take those 2 hours. All I have to do is put 3 guards for 2 hours. They don't rotate, and it'll offset those 2 hours where we don't really make anything. And that'd be normally I want to try to do it twice a week. So Monday, Wednesday would be the best for night swims. So yeah, those changes kind of just to help a little bit offset the new budget, kind of help save money and give more opportunity for the night swims, where we're cutting off on the overtime and the weekly salaries for the part-timers. And to better synchronize the aqua park with the pool.
Okay.
That makes sense to me.
I'd like to add a vote beside that, Mayor,
Okay.
and if council's prepared, somebody wants to make that motion.
Motion to approve Ben's recommendations for hour change.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, state so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, state so by saying nay. All right, motion approved.
And so I forgot to mention, kayak rentals will be during those same times of operation, so they'll still be able to kayak rentals throughout the week.
Thank you, Ben.
So next, new business recognition, we have none. So I need a motion for approval of the minutes for council meeting on March 9th, 2021.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, state so by saying aye. All opposed, state so by saying nay. Good. Minutes are approved. Next is the approval of financial statements and the financial report of March 2021. Get a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Shit.
All in favor, state so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, state so by saying nay. The financial statements, financial report approved. So next, the committee and conference updates. Planning Commission Committee, Councilmember Davis.
All right, we had our meeting this past Monday. We went over, there was an individual that owns a piece of property in town, and they sent in a request saying, if I sell this property and the person wants to use it for this, would that be approved through the overlay district? And we said to go back to them and tell them what the requirements are in order to get an approval for a, what is it, a special exception permit? Was that what it was called?
Oh, no, that's not right, that is.
It's not, it wasn't a special exception, it's basically, it's the overlay district.
Yeah, it's overlay district, which is for storage buildings. This is-
Right.
There's storage building in that district.
Yeah. So, and then we also talked about there is a dilapidated residence that is located at 214 Deer Ridge Trail. And we reviewed pictures of it, and we were talking about the approval to go ahead and demolish that.
I'll bring it to council next month.
Yeah.
Everybody sign off on the sheet, or Jason, sheet.
And then we talked about some possible code changes in regards to the peddlers and itinerant merchants and when they need to get a license and all kinds of fun stuff. And this would be in relation to the flea marketplace that's in the old Magic Mart building, whether the individuals there will need to get licenses and how that will accomplish.
That was based on the request from the gentleman.
Yes.
Are they open yet?
I don't know, are they open? I don't think.
I think they are too.
Okay.
They don't have permits.
Is this 5 days a week?
They're doing it by the code book right now.
Thursday, Friday.
He asked for some exemptions.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're looking about how those permits are issued and what we need to tweak and,
I don't want to say taxes.
We can do the same thing that Chris and I will get together and we can just bring a recommendation to planning commission.
Any other questions? All right, so moving on to our unfinished business section. The sports complex update, was that
Ever moved?
yeah.
Now, any miscellaneous unfinished business? No? Okay, so next under new business is the American Rescue Plan Act. Manager Day?
Okay, you've got in your packet an unofficial bit of information. When I say unofficial, this was something that was actually sent to me from a senator up in Northern Virginia. We talked about this a little bit before the meeting, but the relief fund that President Biden has put out there, it's hard to comprehend, but if you'll go through that list that's in there, you'll see that the town of Tazewell is supposedly, and I want to be clear that I don't have any official documentation, but we're on target for north of $3.5 million. So I'm not sure yet I'm not prepared to actually ask, but I've had a couple of council members ask me, were we going to get some funds? And it's my understanding we will. You've got the information there that I do. So right at 3.76 million is what they're looking at for specifically for the town of Tazewell. I've got
The
some.
town of Tazewell or the Tazewell?
No, just,
County.
no, this is
County
just
zip-
half.
County
County
7.87.
Yeah.
Yes. So you've got a whole list of the entire Commonwealth there, by the way. So if you'll go to the website especially, you can tap into it and see it. But you can see every town across the county, as a matter of fact, every state. So it's hard to comprehend when you say 1.9 trillion. And I think it was California that's getting right at 40 billion. So it's based on population, et cetera. But anyway, I just want to let you know that it is out there. We have an extremely elaborate database on how we're keeping up with expenses. I don't know how, if any, that they're going to dictate that those funds be utilized. So they might say it has to be used for infrastructure, and they say it has to be used for economics. I have no idea. Somebody mentioned during the work session the fire truck, and might say it has to be used for a fire truck. I don't know. I don't know. So I'll just have to wait till that official information comes out, and I'll bring it back. Again, I want to repeat, that's an unofficial piece of documentation. I have no literature from the county, state, or federal government at all. That's all I've got on that issue.
Any questions? Okay, so moving on, we'll go, we have a donation request from THS Project Graduation. The letter's also in your packet. Looks like we approved to donate $1,000 in 2020.
Did they even have it last year?
They did.
They did.
Yeah. I don't know how they did it.
It was interesting, but they had it. They were able to pull it off.
I make a motion to approve 1,000 for this year's graduating class.
I second that motion. Any discussion? All in favor of approving $1,000 donation to the 2020 or 2021 project graduation, state so by saying aye.
What's the limit we allow? I thought it was up to 500.
There's, hold on,
I don't have that with me. You got it, Pooh?
it's right here, guideline for donation requests, hold on.
I thought it was 500.
For 151 to 500, we could do anywhere between 50 to 500, but you can always, you know, that's our guideline. A guideline means you don't have to abide by it.
A guideline is a guideline.
A guideline, I mean, here's, you know,
Okay,
what we normally go on, and if we did $1,000 last year,
You don't have to go by it.
no. I
It's a
mean,
guide.
it's your guide.
And we, looks like traditionally given $1,000
Yeah,
for the senior
yeah.
class, so.
Right.
And the motion was made, seconded, and passed, wasn't it?
Right.
Mhm.
So all in favor, state so by saying aye.
We've already did.
We
Already did.
Okay.
Right now, I'm going to do it again.
Okay.
I just
All
had a
opposed, state
question.
so by saying nay.
I'm for it. Okay.
All right, motion approved.
Don't make anybody
Next,
mad.
VDOT 2023 and 2024 transportation alternatives funding. Manager Dave?
All right, Robin's been working on that, so I'm gonna let her.
No, I knew that was coming. We got an email just saying that this funding's coming out. We usually have nothing that we can qualify for, as with a lot of VDOT projects. But on this one, we actually had TNL do a HSIP application for us, and that's the sidewalk that was supposed to be out there at Pizza Hut. All down through there.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't get that one. We didn't qualify, we were low on there. But I messaged John Beach told and he asked if we could do the same project for this transportation grant because it has a lot of involvement with sidewalks and safety, and to me that would be safety. And he thinks there may be a good possibility. So we're going to be looking at filing an application with them to see if we can get that passed.
Great.
Awesome.
And we're gonna finish Maplewood and
There's a lot of people walks out there.
Yeah, that'd be great, and that's,
yeah.
it looks good once done.
What, you talking about Maplewood or?
Both places, actually.
Oh,
They do, even the trails that way, and then out Maplewood, they walk a lot.
This particular stretch of sidewalk will go from the entrance of Lincolnshire all the way out to the 460 corridor where you go to the radio station, where the trails is access now.
Where you park the bulldozer.
Where the bulldozer.
That beautiful bulldozer.
Yeah. That free, beautiful, that's right.
makes it even more beautiful.
You didn't even have a piece of.
Well, we got about $1,100.
Now, the county
I mean, I'll take it off your hands if you don't want.
Yeah, I would too.
I'm actually being audited on the 29th of this month, so I'll pray.
Yes. Okay, next, parking ticket policy vote.
Okay, unfortunately, I apologize, we don't have that policy ready, so we'll bring it back next week.
Passed on this.
All right, next, the cleanup month, May 2021.
I'll make the motion.
Good job, Jay.
Second.
So, yeah,
Any discussion? All in favor of having cleanup month, May 2021, stay so by saying aye. All opposed, stay so by saying nay. All right, motion carries. Cleanup month in May.
What do we actually do for that? Give out garbage bags?
We give out garbage bags, yeah, we can pick it up free.
Thanks to anybody that needs them.
Can we put our kids in them? Didn't work.
That'll be all over the
they
paper.
don't really stay.
So next on the agenda is set the budget public hearing for May 11th, 2021 at 7:15 p.m.
All right, I know some of you got some questions about that. In order for us to avoid a special call meeting, I've got to get that ad in the paper on the 23rd of this month, and Bob Laudenberg of VRA is very much aware of that. So again, what I'm requesting tonight is that you approve to proceed forward with the understanding that I have to communicate with you between now and then with Bob Laudenberg of VRA and the information he brings forward. So the budget line items in water and sewer, when it comes to rates, could change based on what that report that he's doing for DML VACO for VRA. Again, we don't have to do it unless you guys want to come out on a Saturday morning or something like that. But this is my best opportunity to avoid a special call meeting. If you're okay with that, I just need a vote of approval for Robin to run that ad on April 23rd. Public hearing will be in May. You'll vote in June, and in July will be in the new budget.
I'll make that motion to approve.
Any discussion? All in favor of setting the budget public hearing for May 11th, 2021 at 7:15, stay so by saying aye. All opposed, stay so by saying nay. Approved. So finally, under new business, any miscellaneous items? No? Brad, I assume no one signed up there? So no public comment. Next, any council member comment?
I think Public Works is doing a great job on the road repairs they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic job.
What's that?
The road repairs, they're doing a great job.
Oh, yeah.
Bill Weeks did ask me, just this last week, how you plan on when you do the line down through there? Like, how are you going to divert traffic in front of businesses?
Where at?
When you run the water line?
Oh, the water line, I don't know yet. You know the difference in Fincastle,
You don't have a,
the difference in Fincastle and this water line was Fincastle was done relatively inexpensive. So if you'll remember the transfer of $90,000, we got a whole lot done. With the federal money that's coming down, there ain't no telling, they'll have the, I don't know what they're gonna require, so I don't have an answer to that yet. I can tell you that most of it's on the shoulder of the road.
in the parking lot?
It just goes down the edge of the road. We talked about Bill Weeks. Oh, I thought you had an house, I'm sorry.
You might want to just
Yeah.
chat with them.
I can, he asked me about it, because we talked about it.
Dave, can we get an update on the groundhogs before we leave, please?
I would like to make one comment. I was approached by a few people in town about some trash in different areas, and
Your
approached-
neighbor?
Huh?
Your neighbor? That'd be one.
But I did approach Todd with that, and I'd like to applaud town for, working on that.
Well, it's
It's an uphill
great.
battle.
Yeah.
It's, we basically got 2 years worth of trash coming out this spring, so.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable the amount of trash around town. If you go up 460,
Yeah,
it's
it's awful.
just awful.
They've cleaned, there have been
That's-
trash bags along 460 lately.
That's, is there any way, the garbage trucks, I heard the garbage trucks, some of them complaining about, I don't know if it's county or town, what, but they, usually when they go to the dump, trash starts flying out of the back.
Yeah, we'll check on
Check,
it.
check on that part. And
I
I do
know,
like to see,
go ahead, sorry, no, you want to see something.
I like to see all the employees come up with a good rate.
Well, what y'all approved tonight is what's proposed.
Okay.
I had someone mention to me too that at the recycling center, one of the signs, I'm not sure which one it was, still has the old hours. So there's probably a sign that's been ordered or something, but I didn't think something.
Anything else?
That's it, the groundhogs, no, we don't have any right. But I'll let you know.
I'm sure you will. So, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor for adjourning, stay so by saying aye. All opposed, stay so by saying nay. Meeting adjourned.